Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Hubert, and welcome back to another update for my Buffalo State Hospital Minecraft map. It has been quite some time since the last update, and since I feel like I've got just enough progress done to justify making a video, I figured I would make an update now. And so as for the actual main building here, not a whole lot has really changed. It's mostly just been finishing some stuff up and also adding in some details. So I don't remember if I had this last time, but I've been kind of trying to kind of play around with some of the detailing around the actual windows. So I kind of want to do that on this side as well. So like the actual windowsills just looks a little bit nicer than what it looks like for these other areas here. So main structures are pretty much done on the east wing. So again, just kind of want to play around with some, really just adding in some of the finer details. So main structure pretty much done. And you can also kind of see some of the outbuildings in the background there. So it looks really nice. And so yeah, here we have Ward B. So not really a whole lot, again, has really changed, but I am going to be focusing on adding some more detail here. So which includes not just like the actual like windowsills and like details around the windows, but also what we're going to see for male ward D actually as we come here. You can see I've got kind of this pattern here at the top, as well as some of the, again, more detailing around the actual windows. And so this pattern is noticeable if you look in the actual photos. There's kind of like, it wasn't just like brick, like the same brick pattern. There was some pretty nice detailing at the tops of the second floor. And so I'm going to try my best to replicate that. It's a little bit difficult to do in Minecraft because it's such an intricate pattern. But I think this actually looks pretty good. So just something that, looks good, but also a little bit accurate to what it actually would have looked like. So here's just what it looks like on this side here. So I'm definitely going to be focusing on the detailing for the next update. And of course, here we have male ward E. So I believe it was not completely finished in the last update. I think most of it was, but like the areas towards the back, which this is, technically the front, so to say, but I think the back here, not quite this side, but over on this side wasn't completely finished. So now it is. So basically the main structures for all of the male ward buildings of the east wing are, pretty much done, including the meow kitchen. So very nice. So of course, again, that's just going to leave some of adding some more detail in and kind of finishing up the interior, since there are a few areas that, yeah, still do need to be worked on. But most of the rooms are here, so everything is pretty much here and good to go. Is that kind of the main corridor? And of course, we got some of these rooms, and it's really nice. Again, kind of looking out of the windows here. So I've said this in my Mount Massive map. I'll say it here. It's always nice when you can look out the windows and just, see some of the other, what's basically out there. And so I've also been adding in signs. Yeah, I decided I would go ahead and add in signs. So, if you're not familiar with Buffalo State Hospital and you're reviewing the map or just touring it, you, at the very least, will know what the rooms are, since they're going to be labeled. And so here we just have a dining room. So, yeah, again, pretty bare. Yeah, this map isn't going to be overly detailed, so it's going to be relatively basic once released. So I don't know if I'm going to add in furniture, since I don't really have information about that. Here we have the dumbwaiter. So another area that's I've kind of touched up on, kind of just fixed some stuff, is like the dumbwaiter. So you don't see the wood at each level. I've just added in white concrete, so it just looks a little bit cleaner. And I've actually also gone ahead and started adding in the actual tramways. So these were here. This is how the food would be delivered. So, I added in a minecart to represent the little trolley that would have contained the food. And so the food would be delivered up to the dining rooms through the dumbwaiters from the mail kitchen. So that's basically how it all worked. And so that's kind of one of the reasons you have the basements here. And yeah, I can see the tramway doesn't go all the way here since there's really not a point since the dumbwaiter is right there. And yeah, I've gone ahead and added it in Mail Ward D as well. I think I got up to Mail Ward D before I guess I kind of got bored and I decided to work on something else, which I tend to do quite a lot. So I rarely, there's times where, I kind of get bored of doing something. I just decide to do something else, so it happens. But basically this is how it would work here. So you have Mail Ward B, and this goes to the mail kitchen. So, oh, whoops, went the wrong way. Okay, so yeah, it would go through here, I think. So I'm not actually sure how far the tramway went. I'm assuming it went all the way to like right about here, since if it wasn't in the actual corridor, you'd have quite a distance to walk. So I assume it went all the way through here. And so for as to what this actual area would have looked like, there actually are photos of it, like modern photos, recent photos taken from like a couple years ago. So I've pretty good references for what this looks like here. And so again, looking out the windows here, yeah, this is the mail kitchen. This is the actual kitchen itself. Kind of still need to work on the ceiling here because I'm having a little bit of trouble with this because the ceiling doesn't really match the actual roof from looking at the photos. So the ceiling was pretty low in here. You can see it's lower than the one on the outside. So I'm guessing it doesn't completely fit. So I don't know, I'm still working it out. But here's just what the roof looks like. And of course we have the actual monitor here, which I do actually still have to fix that. Yeah, oops, yeah. So that was just kind of like a placeholder pretty much. But here is the mail kitchen. We even have the signs here. And like I said, this is a building that is still exists on the site, although its condition isn't the absolute best, but it is still there. Speaking of which, another building that still exists, however it is completely different, is the workshop and boiler building. This has also this has changed quite a bit from the last update. So it didn't have its roof on, but now it does. And I've added this whole thing here. Yeah, this was actually here. So main structure for the workshop and boiler is pretty much done as well. And of course, we have this actual steam pipe. So yeah, this is how the main building would get its heat from. And you can also see I added in like these roads here. So just like these walkways that actually did exist. So what's it called? Historic site reports or whatever it had actually do show how those would have looked. So that's quite nice. And I decided to add them. So again, we got signs on the workshop and boiler building as well. And so we got like a nice sunset going as well. So anyways, yeah, this is the boiler room. So you can see I've kind of planned out the 3 boilers that would have been here. So it's all coming together quite nicely. And of course, here we have the workshop here. And then on the other side is the bakery. So still nothing inside here, as you can see, but I did add in like the flooring, so it's not just grass. And heading on towards the back, we just have a corridor, and it has the coal room, which you can see I got some coal, stacked up against the wall there. And we also have a new outbuilding. Well, I did have the foundation for it in the last update, but now it's completely built up, is the ice house. And it's a little dark, so let me set the time today. There we go, so now you can see it a lot better. So it's just a basic brick structure And of course, yeah, ice house. This is what it would have looked like. And I recreated this from the original plans. And yeah, I've also added in the glass for the windows, which I also did for the other outbuildings, as you'll soon see. And so the ice house was basically just like a giant refrigerator. So this is how all of the meat and any other food that required refrigeration is going to be refrigerated pretty much. So it's fairly basic. As you can see here, just a giant rectangle. It's got two smaller rooms. Yeah, I can see one room on each side here. And then there's a corridor, and you have this giant, basically ice box at the back here. And I'm guessing there's like a little bit of an attic over there. And this really tall door that's at the back here. So yeah, fairly basic structure. And of course, the ice house and workshop and boiler building kind of became one later on. So there would be like a coal shed added in between them, and they kind of basically became one giant building. Here is the laundry, which also changed quite a bit later on. Hasn't changed too much, although I did add in glass for the windows. I added in flooring. And I also added in the actual cellars, as you can see here, although it's very dark, but they are there. So there's like this portion over here, and then this area over here is like really, it's not really tall. It's only, I think, like 2 blocks tall, so it's basically like a crawl space pretty much. So not too much going on down in the cellars, but they are there as they would have existed. So yeah, Buffalo State Hospital as it would have originally looked like. Pretty interesting, if I do say so myself. So yeah, one last look at the workshop and boiler building, and I did add in like the dormers as well on the roofs. And kind of looking back towards the main building, yep. And here we have the last of the outbuildings, so like these farm buildings. So we have the care stable, which I've been adding in some details. So I got like the doors at the top here. Now, these doors are actually supposed to swing inwards, but I don't know. I just think they look a lot better swung outwards. I might change that. I might not. I don't know. I think it looks better with them swung out. And of course, I've been adding in some hay bales. So that would have just been up here. Basically just storage for the hay. So yeah, carriage stable. And here is the cow barn. So this would have contained the actual stables for horses and also the cows in here. Again, I've been adding in signs and some other details added in glass for the windows. Still need to add in the actual flooring, although I'm not sure if there would be actual flooring. I'm guessing there would, or it just would have been grass. I'm not really sure. That I can't tell you. So yeah, I've been adding in doors as well. Yeah. And we have the wagon shed there. And also this shed here, which, as I've said in previous updates, I have zero idea as to what this would have looked like. I have absolutely zero depictions as to what this would have looked like. So all I know is from the one report is that it would have just been a rectangle. And that's all I know. So I have like an approximate idea of its size. So I have like an idea of its approximate size from the report, but that's all I know. I have no idea what this would have looked like. So until I get like an actual like reference, that's what it's going to look like. Basically just like 4 stalls, pretty much. So, but other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for this update. So just kind of one last look at everything here. So this cluster of outbuildings in the back here looks really good now, especially with the roads added in. Here's a look at the east wing from the back. And of course, I'm going to have to build all of that on the other side. So I know probably someone's going to say, well, why can't you just use World Edit? Because the issue is the West Wing, the female ward side, is not the exact same as the East Wing, the men's side. So they are slightly different. Not just with the actual like size of like the well, they are a little bit different, the actual like ward buildings, but also the actual corridors connecting them are also different. They're actually a little longer. So yeah, not completely identical, but I do have the basic size figured out, so it shouldn't take too long, at least not as long as it took to build the East Wing. But anyways, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for update 5, it was. And so, of course, I will keep you guys updated, maybe make some screenshots for smaller, stuff. So, and yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video, and I will see you in the next one, as always. So, until then, bye for now, everyone.